Hello, I'm Kamla. Join me every week. We bring you interviews and conversations with technologists, entrepreneurs, filmmakers, and other newsmakers from in and around the San Francisco Bay Area. My guest today is Dr.
The correct way to pronounce my name in its origin, or the original language, is Torturo.
And what does it mean?
Torturo.
What does it mean?
I think crooked road or something like that. I don't
Oh,
know.
really?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh.
They don't really. There's not. That's what they say if you look up the origins, or they say it could be like on the crest or something like that. But they say Torturo here, which is, when I played basketball, my coach could never say my name. He would call me like Tatara, Tagliani, Tatarini, Totori. I was like, it's Totoro. He was Irish. He couldn't say my name.
But you
Get
must
in there. I wouldn't go in until he,
But you must have been a curious child, so I'm sure at some point you went and
Curious
asked your
child?
dad, what the name means. How do you pronounce it the right way?
No, my father was born in Italy, so he came here. He knew how to pronounce it. Yeah, he came here when he was 6 years old.
And how did the family get the name?
No, it's just it's the name that they've had. I don't know how they got the name. It's
Okay.
goes back hundreds of years, so I don't know. But it's from Giovinazzo in Puglia, right near Bari on the Adriatic.
Okay.
That's where that name comes from.
Okay. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your film.
No, not including Ben's, only because I knew that if I watched Benedict's film, then I'd probably try and steal all the best bits. So I thought I would hold off on that. But I was looking at all of the documentary stuff, and I would literally sit in front of a mirror with the iPad there, and I would try and replicate. It was as absurd as that sounds. And if someone was watching, it would have looked ridiculous.
Everybody will be using the cell phone, and the lives of everybody will be improved. If these movies and these other things that I call gimmicks are entertaining, I think that's great. If we spread the ideas that we're talking about, I think it's great. But in themselves, they are really entertainment. I'm more interested in revolutions.
In your previous film, We Are the Legion, the story of hacktivists, you looked at collective action, Yeah. And in this film, Internet's Own Boy, the story of Aaron Swartz, you are looking at an individual's action.
Yeah.
What draws you to technology?
What draws me to technology? Well, I'm particularly interested in how technology intersects with our culture and particularly laws and human rights and civil liberties. I think we're in this period of time in which we live these massively networked lives in which every part of our lives has an online component to it. And this is relatively new in the human experience, the way that we communicate now. And so, and yet we have relatively established traditions and values in terms of human rights, civil liberties, constitutional rights. And it strikes me that this new networked world, that these are two different things, and where these two tectonic plates are grinding. I'm particularly interested in that area. The notion that freedom of expression, that creativity and innovation, and the sort of traditional values, notions of privacy, the idea that our government can't search us without due process, that those things make their way into this digital space that we all live in, that is not the realm of geeks and hackers, but is the place where
met the
we
wizard,
live.
and the wizard was like, "You'll be a writer," and you're like, "Great!" And then you're like, "Oh my God, 25 years later, I can't believe I chose this cursed profession." It's just an internal. I mean, I'll be honest. I have no idea what writing is or where it comes from. I mean, obviously, I read a lot of books. I've seen a lot of movies.
Your research actually is, you looked at strategic mapping of the Burmese border, and your research reveals a backstory of how China thinks about its borders. Fast forward to today's world. What is it that the current president of China is doing differently?
Well, he actually is not doing anything different than what was done in the late 19th century, which is China is drawing on multiple sources of information, multiple different kinds of text maps in order to be able to achieve, in order to be able to advance Chinese territorial claims. one thing that we should think of is why are border disputes becoming, gaining the forefront in China's foreign relations?
And you have an announcement to make.
Yes, I just recently filed my statement of intent to run for state assembly, and I'm very excited about that. I'm very excited about the opportunities that it presents to continue my work on behalf of the residents of San Jose in Sacramento.
In Sacramento, and that would be district, well, which district?
27.
Okay.
The 27th Assembly District.
Would you ever want to be featured in HBO Silicon Valley season 2?
I think that could be fun.
Do they know of your interest?
Oh, I mean, I would say that's something that if it happened, it would happen. I would not push for it or even ask for it.
But maybe you can join as the new geek member of Richard's Pied Piper team.
Yeah, I think I trust in the creative forces behind the show to make their own decisions on matters.
Because
like
you're
that.
Believable. You can go there and draw the algorithm real time.
Yeah, I mean, you should talk to them, Kamla. Yeah, you're making a compelling case. Yeah.
I mean, I certainly developed a work ethic from it. I mean, I always had a work ethic, but I really got one drilled into me playing music, and this idea that you get good at stuff by practicing it. I think that's something that I think a lot of sort of movies about musicians or movies about geniuses kind of don't really focus in on, is the sheer hard work. I wanted to make a movie here where this kid's not a genius at the outset, and he's not necessarily going to be a great musician at the outset, and we just see him really put in the work. And whether it pays off or not, that's really kind of up for us to decide, because certainly there's a cost involved. But it's I think it's important to show work. That I think that's something that that movies don't always show.
Duke Ellington?
Duke Ellington. So one of the, probably the most prolific American composer in any genre. The man wrote over 2,000 compositions over the course of his lifetime.
I decided to make this as my first feature-length documentary, and I wanted to make something positive, something that would make me happy, but also make audiences around the world happy. And so I thought back to my favorite age in life, and that was when I was 11. So I wanted to study this age, but on a global scale, not just in my home country of Australia.
A little avatar that we call Lumo affectionately, and so he basically mimics what you do. And so as I start to kind of slouch like this, he'll actually slouch in real time. I'll get actually a vibration in the band itself that'll remind me to sit up nice and straight. So as I was mentioning before, it also tracks other things. So it'll know, say, if I stand up as an example, it will know that. Or if I start to walk, it'll know that I'm doing that. Or if I come back to the seat, sit down, and let's say I'm slouching again. It'll know all of that. And so then what we can do is tell people a lot about what they're doing. So what's their posture score been, as an example, or how much time have they spent sitting down. So 2 hours and 50 minutes today, and you can see it's still counting up because obviously I'm sitting here.
So what design has now become is this differentiator which makes you stand out from all of the other products that are out there. The great thing about the Valley, of course, is, as you would imagine, we are setting a lot of the design almost role models that the rest of the world follows. So between Facebook, Twitter, Google, and all of the other companies
What about
out
Apple?
here. I mean, Apple's an interesting design company as well, but certainly it's a bit rare because it always had this spiritual duo of Steve Jobs and Jonathan Ive who decided what was to be designed. Most companies don't tend to be as top-down. They tend to be much more distributed. So in Google, there's no one master designer. There are actually
Google Glass. As you can see, I'm wearing Google Glass. And we have with us Sahas Katta, who did something with Google Glass and Tesla. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on. I'm excited to be here.
Okay, so this Google Glass is pretty exciting, but it's just that I think my eyes may start hurting after a bit because you're looking at one corner.
Yeah.
So Sahas, you are the founder of a company called Smart Car. What does Smart Car do?
So Smart Car is a technology for the next generation of internet-connected vehicles. So what that means is, like your cell phone, it has internet connectivity on a cellular provider anywhere you go. So what we're doing is we figured out a way to actually learn a person's driving habits, anticipate their next commute, and we can actually begin preemptively heating or cooling their car so that it's at the right temperature when they get in.
I've been working with Dean Kamen for 30 years, practically, on all sorts of other documentaries about his first robotics and Segway, which was called Ginger. And when he told me in 2006 about his work on water, I said to him, this is a story very much worth telling from the beginning to the end. Let's start shooting now and cover this. You've already been working on it for over a decade.
One way to look at it, and we definitely use technology to make food a little bit more affordable, more sustainable. That's our mission.
Okay, so one of the things that you're working on is creating eggs made from plants. Correct?
Yes, I would put it in a way where we're looking at alternate sources of protein to replace the functionality of those eggs in different applications of food.
Okay, now you sound like a software engineer. Functionality. So what you're saying is basically egg is an ingredient that performs a certain function.
Yes, it absolutely has a function in any product it has put in. In a way, every single ingredient that makes up a food product has a function, has a role to play. Take that cookie for instance, the flour in there, the sugar in there, they all have functions to perform. And egg is one of those ingredients that provides, whether it's moisture retention, whether it is providing binding, whether it's providing structure. These are the things that eggs provide. And nobody eats a cookie to eat eggs. Okay? Somebody eats a cookie because it's a good tasting product.
I love Bollywood films. And I love when you dance around the tree, the dance around the tree.
They no longer dance
around trees. No, but I like that generation of films though. But
most issues in the world. I have again, there's things I will not tolerate. Abuse of women and children is what it comes down to in the end. One chapter is called "It's the Children, Stupid," and it's ultimately we can focus in this world. We can all get behind the idea of letting human beings have safe environments for their families to grow up in.
You can always catch our shows on our YouTube channel. And you can stay updated by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching.